Hey everybody, so we are live on YouTube and Instagram, just getting Instagram going. Today we're going to have a fun conversation about me. If I can get this all going, go live. There we go. A little bit of techie tech. Hi, so we are going to talk today and I'm going to introduce myself to you. Many of you know me because you've been following me for a really long time. Let me get this cuter. Hold on. I'm not in my office. Let's get a little flamingo action behind me. A little ray of sunshine. All right. Set up that studio. Get it cute. Little flamingo action today. It's a little cray cray. I'm gonna move it. You're watching me live. If I'm not authentic, I'm not me. You know I am, because look at me being raw and real in front of you. It has been a wild day, let me tell you. So now we're gonna settle in together and talk. So today, as a vocal coach, as an artist development coach, I have been sharing with you all kinds of things about how to develop your brand, how to share yourself, how to really find your voice. And today I thought, for all the people who have been following me for a dozen years and have been on my mailing list for so long, and I absolutely love the messages I get from you that tell me that something I shared with you meant something to you, that a blog that I sent out really resonated with you, really means a lot to me. And I thought I should share my story with you and just communicate with you and talk to you about how I got here and who I am and what I do and how I got to be the person I am and the coach that I am and why I care so much about helping you be authentic and killing the perfectionist. So I want to introduce you to Wendy Parr today. And that's what today's conversation is going to be about. Please do share in the comments. Ask me questions. Ask me any questions, vocal questions, anything. We're here to chat. But let's talk today, and I want to tell you a bit about my story. And I'm going to open up the comments here so I can see them. And I've definitely had, I've had a good few thousand followers join me. We crossed the 20,000 mark on IG recently, and YouTube is slowly growing, so I'm so glad for that. I really just love that I get to share with you. I love that something that I say means something to you and makes a difference in your world as a creative artist and as a person. So that's awesome. So let's see. Way back when I was a little one. So I started actually very young. I knew very young that I loved music, that I loved singing, that I wanted to sing, that my first influences, Barbra Streisand and Stevie Wonder and Aretha Franklin, I was like, I want to do what they do. I love music. I was really into reading and writing very young. In fact, there was a, hey, Stevie, there was a, oh, Siri, no, I'm not talking to you. That was weird. Didn't press the button. I was really into writing and reading. And I remember, because of social media, someone reached out and said, hey, y'all, like, we were reconnecting with like friends from high school. It was an eighth grade. It was an eighth grade graduation video. And someone said, oh, Wendy, you're in here. You got an award and you're dancing like you're doing the robot or something silly. And when they said I got an award, I assumed it was for something with music. And in fact, when I watched the video, which was hilarious to watch, it was an award for writing. And it reminded me as an adult that, yes, you loved writing from the get. You loved writing since you were a kid. I wrote my first song when I was 9. Hello, Australia. I wrote my first song when I was 9 and then worked and wrote it with an established writer and producer who helped me then produce it as my first song when I was about 14, 15 years old. But yes, I've always loved language, storytelling, writing, and I still do. And I think that telling your story in every way is important, right? Like me sitting here with my hat and my tie-dyed sweater and my glasses, this is me telling you a story. Me having this tattoo is my story. And that everything we do is part of that sharing of who we are in the world. And that when we're intentional about it, we get to be seen for who we are. And when we're not intentional, that's when people, or not just not intentional, if we're not intentional or we're not clear, or we've been influenced a lot by other people and we're allowing those influences and we're making choices on those influences, then people ask you questions like, oh, do you sing opera? I remember when I was 15 and someone asked me if I sang opera, and I was like, what about me? Nothing wrong with opera, but I don't sing opera. I was an R&B singer when I was young. And I was like, what about me is indicating that? I got my first tattoo, which is on my back, when I was 31 years old. I got a nose ring at the same time. And it was at that time that I was like, what part of me, like, I've always wanted to get a tattoo. What's stopping you? And for me, what was stopping me was my ideas about my mom and my family. And I was like, Wendy, your life, live your, like, you got to be the person you want to be. And I've certainly like come out and hidden again, and then come out and then hidden again. I was raised to like hide. I was raised to not be me. I was raised being told all the time, be something else. And so I have really, really, I can't do anything but me. I can't. So I am covered in tattoos. And when I performed at Lincoln Center with an artist who invited me to perform on their show, and sing a song with them, I wore a sleeveless, like a dress. One of the last times I wore a dress, but it was across here, shoulders. This tattoo is shouldered. This shoulder is tattooed. This shoulder is tattooed. I have a sleeve, and and my mom. I remember mom. I'm asking, going, "Well, what are you gonna wear?" Because for her, it was like you're gonna cover up, right? I was like, "No, the artist knows who they invited. They invited me, and I'm showing up as me, tattooed, hair in a pompadour, me." And um, probably one of the reasons that was one of the last times I wore a dress was because I'm just way more comfortable in baggy pants, and doesn't mean I won't ever wear a dress again. Recently, there was this beautiful dress that's colorful and long. Like I love a long, flowy, like a house dress, from Morocco kind of thing. Um, and I tried it on, and it's really like the kind of dress I would love, but I still feel and look weird in it now. Like I look at it, I'm like, it just doesn't look right on me now. And maybe that'll change again because we ebb and flow as people. But I'm being true to myself and saying, I really love the dress. It's not for me. Um, so let me go back to me as a creative and as a person. I came up, hey, Ricky. I came up as an artist. I came up wanting to be a performer, wanting to be a superstar. I was doing musical theater when I was young. I was performing 5 nights a week in Los Angeles when I was 15 years old. I was doing a jazz trio, doing jazz standards. I was doing musical theater, and I was doing all the R&B showcases that existed in LA. I would get up there at the time. There was like at the Modrian Hotel. There was every Monday, Skippy Lowe did a live thing. I sang 3 songs or 5 songs. Every artist got up and sang one. He had me sing 3 to 5 songs every night, every Monday. So I was performing every week when I was 15. I went to NYU for acting, and I got myself a gig singing at a bar 2 nights a week. So, and in fact, my cousins, thank you, my cousins, Diggy, they helped me get that gig. And I was 16, 17 at the time. So I was constantly performing because I was pursuing a career in music. I made my first demo when I was 15. And a demo then, there was no, I mean, now mind you, we went from 8 tracks to cassettes to CDs and LPs in my lifetime. I'm not that old, but a lot has changed, right? So when I was 15 making my first demo, it was a record. It was a live string section in a studio because there was no such thing as Pro Tools in your computer. Not yet. And so I was recording after midnight when the rates went down and I was paying for it. And I was already working. I started working when I was 8 years old as a performer. So at 8, I started working professionally. I was doing corporate gigs. I missed the first day of 8th grade because I was working. I was doing TV commercials, voiceovers. I did a bunch of commercials for cereal at the time. And that money helped me pay when I was 15, helped me pay for my demos and my first album that I was making. And so, yeah, live string section, live background singers. Thank you, John Fluker. And so I was pursuing a career in music and writing songs and learning to be a songwriter. I say I wrote my first song. It's not a terrible song. I still remember it. The times in my life are always changing, whether they're good times or bad. We always come through. Now, is it a great song? No, it was my first song I ever wrote. And I remember the paper I wrote it on. And it was a 1985, 1984, 85 when we wrote that song. But I was songwriting and crafting and learning and studying songwriters. And I was singing jazz standards and learning Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan and um, a classic songwriter songs. I was singing Burt Bacharach, and so learning great songs. At 16, and I know I'm starting you way back here, but this is a career path that there's so many things that got me to where I am. At about 16, I auditioned for the original Broadway cast of Les Miserables and for Carrie in the West End, and that was both like in the same month at the same time. I made the final cut for both of them. I did not get either one. I was quite devastated, especially because I love Les Mis. Um, and Carrie, they cast Barbara Cook as the mom, and the contract was British actor, American actor, British actor. So Barbara Cook got the mom, the British uh, artist got the lead for Carrie. And for Les Mis, I made it to the final cut, and the director said, "I don't want to see her. She's 16. I will break her. I will ruin her. I'm too tough of a director. I don't even want to see her." And they said, "No, we really love her. Like, she's our favorite. We really want you to see her." And he said, "No, I will ruin her. So don't show me her. I don't want to like her. I don't want to see her." Now, at 16, I was devastated because I loved Broadway. But later, what I learned was he married the Eponine that he brought from London. He married and they had kids later. So that's life. That's what was meant to happen. And my career moved away from musical theater and into more pop and really pursuing writing pop songs and being in the pop and contemporary world. Um, Now at 20 is when I started teaching voice. At 20, my voice teacher, who was a very famous voice teacher, invited me to teach in his studio. And I said, "I don't know how to teach this." And he said, "Sure, you do. I've shown you how the voice works and you can help other people. So while you're pursuing a career in music, you can teach and empower other artists." And that's how I started. I actually had started already at college, where Michael Black, who's a stand-up and a comedian now, very successful, he and his friends were doing a comedy show, and they said, "Hey, Wendy, you sing. Can you help us? Like, we want to do this musical harmony thing." "Sure, I'll do that." Another friend said, "Hey, I have an audition and I need to sing. Can you help me like prep for that?" I was actually already helping my fellow actors, because being a coach is my archetype, as being an artist is, being a teacher is also. And I found that out really quickly. When I started coaching, I discovered how much I loved teaching. I was like, I love helping other people. I love watching them grow. I love helping empowering them. I see them and I see them here, and then I have the tools to get them there. And then I see them here and I'm going to give them the tools to get there. And I really love championing people. I love elevating people. I love it. So I found myself putting more energy into coaching than touring. And I was still doing both for a long time. Um, I was fired from being on tour with Bette Midler, which later I found out a bunch of reasons behind that, which were not so kosher and not so ethical, but also not having to do with Bet, but also just career path. The world was saying, "No, you're not a background singer. Continue, do this. No, you're not a background singer. Keep writing songs. No, you're not pursuing that. Do this." And I really do trust and believe the world opens the doors. And I say this to artists: go where the love is. Where the doors open and you're getting opportunities, run through that door. The universe is telling you your dreams are here, your path is here, your joy is here. There may be a time when you make a decision and say, "I really want to take a shift in my career," and the world might still give you these opportunities. And it might be asking you, "Are you sure? Are you really sure?" And when you say, "Yes, I still don't want that opportunity," stay true to your integrity. So, anything I or anyone says, it's like, take with a grain of salt, because there will be times when I think your decision might be tested, but also really go where the love is. If you're like, "Gosh, I keep getting opportunities to do X, Y, and Z. I keep getting opportunities to be a sideman in a band or to go into session work." Do it. Do it. Don't keep blinders on thinking, "Oh, but the career I want looks like X, Y, Z." Don't do it. I would have missed my wife if I hadn't listened to that voice. Thank you, Wayne. If I hadn't listened to the voice that said, I hate to see you miss an opportunity because you have an idea of what it's supposed to look like. It's the same with your career. Don't miss an opportunity because you think it's supposed to look like something else. I had no idea I was going to be a coach. I love coaching. I had no idea I was going to be teaching singers. And I've been doing it for over 30 years and I love it. And my career as a coach itself has taken so many turns. I am from Los Angeles. I coached in LA for in LA for about 14 years. I trained voice teachers all over the world, wonderful coaches who are super successful now, beautiful people. I moved to New York and I lived in New York for 14 years coaching artists. I lived in India for a bit, coaching, songwriting, and loving life. Back to LA where I met my wife and my kids. And you will be the first to know because I haven't fully announced it yet, but I now live in Paris. This is my little temporary background right now, which I will be updating as soon as we're settled in Paris. But my family and I are on the next adventure, living in Paris, where I will continue to coach on Zoom to my LA clients. And as LA continues to grow and anywhere in the world continues to grow, but I'll also be working with artists in Paris and London and Berlin and Europe. So if you are based closer to Europe, you can now find me in Paris. And this is life. Life takes you in lots of directions. If you are a creative artist, it's not a go to school and become a doctor straight path. You're going to zigzag. You're going to have so many different opportunities. I said yes to working on a film because the music director said, I'd really love you to be the writer, excuse me. The writer and director of the film said, I'd really love for you to write the songs for this film and be the music supervisor. And I said, "Ooh, tell me about the job. What does it mean? I want to know that I can do it with excellence. I want to know that I can execute with excellence. So what are you expecting?" And when he told me, he said, "Well, we want to do the songs for the film, and then I'd love for you to do the score." And he had written some songs for the film, and I listened to them, and I said, "So we need to rewrite the songs because they're more narrative than they are song. And I think you should find somebody." Oh, and he was like, "And I really just hear like a guitar and then no composing in the film. Just like the songs on guitar and voice and then no other music." And I said, "I hear these songs being more fully produced. I understand what you want. You want it to feel like a singer-songwriter vibe, but some of these songs really need to be fleshed out and it will give it more dynamic." And then we started getting creative in the film and wanting different instruments on different songs. And he was so on board once we got on board. It was so great. And I said, and also I think it would be very strange if we have songs coming out of nowhere. You're going to want a score that emotionally brings you to each song, that takes you through ties us through the whole film. And although I might be able to do that since this is my first film, why don't we get someone who knows how to score a film and has that experience to do the composing, and I'll do the songs. And we co-wrote, I think it was 11 songs for the Wonderland film. Go watch it. Wonderland, it streams, the soundtrack's online. Go check it out. And I had an incredible experience co-writing and producing with Josh Klausner, being on set, working with the actors, doing live recording. I did live with them on set, recorded in the studio, producing each actor. It was challenging, which I again say to everybody, you grow when you're in over your head. When you challenge yourself to get out of your comfort zone, when you do new things, that's where your success is. That's how you grow. You don't grow being comfortable. You don't grow doing the same old, same old. You get better and better doing things again and again, and then you grow out of your comfort zone. So I had a blast saying yes to that. Yes, Kamara, I live in Paris now. It's still surreal. Haven't settled in yet, but I'm super excited about it. You grow getting out of your comfort zone. You grow trying new things when you're in over your head and you give your best to deliver with excellence. When you get a job being a sideman on a band, and then maybe you're needing to learn another instrument or you're learning to run the stems, this is how we grow, and this is where the fun is. The confidence comes from being challenged by something new and doing it. And even me right now, like this move to Paris, so many hurdles. And I have to remind myself, like, the hurdles are normal. Like, The hurdles are normal for growth. The hurdles are normal for figuring things out, and the confidence that you gain from those experiences is the confidence you gain. You don't get confidence and go do the thing. You make a choice, you do the thing, you get challenged, you overcome, you get confident. You overcome, you get confident. So life would be pretty boring if we were just, all scratch golfers and excellent at everything we did. And frustration is often the moment before a breakthrough. When you're frustrated, stay in, learn, get some knowledge at that moment, get some support at that moment. The breakthrough's right there. Frustration means you're not satisfied, and it's going to give you the opportunity to break through. But that's the moment where you need to reflect, get some insight, input, Google it, find a mentor. Frustration means you're hitting a wall. To get through or around that wall, you need some new information to try another tactic. So take that moment to get through the wall, and now, oh yes, you feel so good for that. You feel so good. So I started, Hannah May, will I be in Paris in 2026? Well, next year is 2025. And yes, so I'm already in Paris. I'm in LA this week right now doing work and taking care of some LA business to wrap up. I will be back in LA for NAMM. I will be back in LA for Grammy stuff. I will be back in LA for my own music event in February, which I'll be telling everybody about in January. But yes, at the top of 2025, I will be in Paris. And 2026, I don't know yet. Probably, but that's a year away. So I don't know. So let me go back to the who am I and what's going on. Started coaching at 20. One of my first clients is now Grammy nominated. I do not take all the credit for that, but I'm super proud knowing that things that I gave this artist, Beethoven's Wig, makes classical music for kids. Check it out. Knowing that one of the first artists that I coached has succeeded. I gave them tools to grow. I gave them tools to be confident. I gave them tools to perform, to sing, and to record, and to elevate their voice. That was my first, literally one of my absolute first clients. And Nancy Sinatra, who I've coached for, over 14 years, the loveliest human being. That was one of my early clients. And so in the teaching process, being an artist, and here's the crux of things, here's where some things are really important. How I got to the Parr method, which was a very long process as well. Even calling what I do the Parr method that's actually relatively new. That's the last couple years. Coming up as an artist, I had so much frustration. I had bad mentorship. I had direction that was pushing me to do something and be someone I wasn't on both my personal side and music side. I would also say that some of it wasn't bad. It was somebody in the business saying, I really think you would succeed doing this. Whether or not they knew that was my musical passion or not, they said, we could market you doing this. And they may be right. But if this doesn't match who I am, it won't ever truly sell, right? But I think I'm saying that I don't think someone was bad for suggesting something to me. It was an opportunity for me to explore and say, do I like that path? Do I want to be on it? But I was constantly being, I didn't know myself yet. I didn't know myself as an artist yet, which takes an average of 7 to 10 years. I'm going to find this post for you that shows you and shares the same thing. I'm going to find it while we're talking. It takes an average of 7 to 10 years to find your voice as an artist. Yeah, it's here. Let me see if I find it. Yes. This is from Roster. Okay. And it says, the best new artist nominated for the Grammys. How many years have they been in this business? From the top down, Sabrina Carpenter, 10.8 years. I might say this name wrong. Kurangbin. Correct me if I'm wrong. 10.5 years. Shabuzi, 10.5 years. Ray, 8.3 years. Chaperone, 7.2. Deutsche, amazing. Again, I might be saying it wrong because I've not heard it as much as I've seen it and just listened to her music. 6.3 years. Teddy Swims, 5.3. Benson Boone, 3.1. The average of all of that is 7.8 years in the business. It takes 7 to 10 years to really find who you are as an artist, a painter, filmmaker, any of it, as a singer. So you need to take that time to try things and wander. Now, what I want to do for artists is shave the time. I want to help you know yourself better. I want to help you know who you are with more clarity. So, for example, when an artist who I just talked with the other day says to me, I've got 7 people on my team all telling me different things. And I think all the things they're telling me are both because they care, but also it's from their angle and their interest. And I need to lead this team. I need to know who I am. Yes, you do. And another artist said to me, I've got my project, and the marketing team is starting to say, here's how we think we can market this. And the artist says, wait a minute. I feel like I need to tell you more of that. Like it needs to be where I want this project to go. And then you can say, ooh, this is giving us great ideas. We know where to go now. And that's why they're in the program Compass. So as an artist coming up, I had so much frustration of just being poorly mentored or misdirected. And certainly as my own person, having perfectionism as a problem of like, just thinking I have to get all of this right or the world is going to end. I have to get all of this right to be loved. I have to get all this right to be a good singer. I have to do all of these things right to survive, to succeed. If I don't do these things, I won't succeed as an artist. And I can tell you what is it now? About 34 years of coaching, I am not the only one who feels that way. Every artist who comes in my space still today feels that way, a little to a lot. And if it's a little, we're going to shrink that little. And if it's a lot, we're going to really shrink it massively. So in the process of coaching and being the artist that I am, I taught voice from a standpoint of you have one voice. Even though I was taught there's a chest voice, a mixed voice, and a head voice. But guess what? You actually only have one voice. You've got 2 eyes, 2 hands, 1 nose, 1 voice. Can you express that voice with infinite expression? Yes. We want to blend the voice everywhere and treat it as one. So I'm never trying to fix it, put it together, get it to transition. Nope, one. You have one engine with 4 gears in a car, or 5, and reverse. It's one engine. You just have gears. It's one bike. You have gears. It's one voice and you have gears. So I started finding a way to teach voice in a way that to me spoke to the artist, that helped the artist feel it in their body and trust their body and let their body do work. And let's get your breathing so that you're breathing for the voice to function and not breath panic or pushing air to try to make power, because that's not how you get air. So learning technique, and in my 34 years of coaching, I have continued to learn more and more about the voice, because especially our knowledge of it has changed. Our ability to look with a camera and magnify it to the nth degree, slow it down and see what the vocal cords are doing. So it's pronounced camera. Thank you. Oh, camera. It's thank you, camera. Camera. Thank you for spelling it differently. And then I got it for you. Cool. So learning technique and putting technique. I learned technique. Okay. I learned technique and was taught there's a right way to sing. As a coach and as an artist, I work with the artist to say, no, technique is here to serve you. I'm here to help you learn technique so you can sing night after night and on tour and be healthy, love the way you sound, create textures you want, execute the song the way you want, expand your melodies because you can sing this octave now strong and it just doesn't get light every time you want to go to that C and that C sharp and that D. So the way I learned as an artist that did not serve me, I teach it in a different way, and I learn to teach in a different way to support the artist. I try, just like as a parent, to parent my child in ways that I think will serve them and ways that I didn't get. As a coach, and I want to give the artist things that I feel you need in ways that I didn't get, or maybe you haven't even gotten yet. Oh, Amma, thank you so much. I'm glad that you love the Parr method and it's benefited you. So technique is here to serve the artist. I teach technique to help you do you. And then the next thing that I saw artists needing, well, even from that, what I developed from that slowly became what is now the blueprint, which is the first session I do with every artist. And it started as a 30, 45-minute conversation, and it's an hour and a half. It's an hour and a half sit down in our first one-on-one session where we really talk about who are you? What do you love about music? Which I'm going to say 95% of the artists that when I ask the question, why do you make music? What do you love about it? Tell me, no one's ever asked me that. It's your full-time career and no one's ever asked you, why do you do this? What do you love about it? Like literally, what's your why? And you don't have to know it from the standpoint, like, you know it inside. That's why you're driven. But again, if we get clarity and we can put our finger on it, we're going to point to what your values are, what you love about music, and then we're going to be able to sift through all the other BS that's in your way. The stuff that you've put on the important list, like, how do I sound? How do I look? What's happening when people film me? Why am I nervous when I go in? We are going to get clear about why you make music and what you love, and let the BS melt away, and get clear about what that is. Like, why are you focusing on things that aren't really what makes music to you, and your audience doesn't give a shit about them? So that first session, Blueprint, is part of my online courses. It's the first course. Well, Navigator's the mini course. It's the first course. It is the foundation of what we do. We do not start singing and training until we talk about what's in your head that's getting in your way, what's in your heart and soul that is feeding you, and let's build your career and your music training in the direction that you really want to be in. Loving what you do, feeling confident about what you do, and letting go of the fears and the things that do not serve you. The training is faster, exponentially better. Your nervous system and your stress level is going to go way down. We're going to have a lot more fun, and you're actually going to grow faster, like physically grow and make changes when we let go of the limiting beliefs, when we let go of focusing on things that actually do not matter to you. And you just don't know they don't matter because someone told you hitting notes is important. And it is. We don't want to sing out of key. But focusing on hitting notes when you sing makes your singing worse. So that's not our focus. I help you focus on how it feels in your body, enjoying yourself, connecting with your audience, and then we'll do technical stuff to get the voice to be in tune. No big deal. That's actually the easy stuff. So that is why I have that first session, which, by the way, all my courses are on sale for the month of December. And if you don't know that, you go to my website or go to the link in my bio and Instagram, wendyparr.com. It's in a banner across there. There's a coupon code. I want to say thank you to all my followers. I want to say thank you. And I know it's been a tough year for a lot of people. It's been a tough couple of years. And I'm doing half off all my evergreen courses. If you love this conversation, if you love the little bits that you see on my Instagram, those little tidbits that I'm giving you that are really valuable, a course goes deep into everything. Blueprint is there. And I'll tell you about the other ones and why I develop all these things. So half off with the coupon code. In fact, I can just tell you what the coupon code is here while we're talking because that makes it easier. Year end 50. So if you go to purchase Navigator, Blueprint, Voice Maps, or Sound Chart, all the evergreen courses, with the code year end 50, you'll get 50% off any of the courses. And you can get more than one, you still get 50% off all of them. And they're designed to be taken from in a row, like it's designed in a certain way. But if you're like, I'm working on an album and I really got to hone in on what my sound is, then get Soundchart. I don't recommend skipping Blueprint, but you can. I mean, they're designed for what you need now, and they're designed to go in order because it's the order of building your work. So coaching really, and coaching teachers the same way, is really about helping you do you. I want you to be thrilled with your music, your career, your life. Started with Blueprint and helping artists like get out of your head. Let's kill the perfectionist. It's getting in the way of your singing. Our emotional life needs to be so connected to your singing. Some artists, we're emotionally connected and we need technique so that we can sing night after night because you're getting hoarse. Great. Let's work that technique. Boom. Back out to being the wacky, wonderful artist you are. And other artists need more support. And well, all artists, I mean, we all have emotional challenges. We all have limitations. We all have a mind that gets in our way. Like, we all need support. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, had several coaches working with him his entire career and a room of people in the office all working to support his career. Everybody needs coaches. You are an athlete as a singer. You need a team. You are making an album. There is a team. You are putting it out in the world. There is a team. We all need support. We nobody's a hermit. We're not meant to be. It's not about your talent. Talent needs support to grow. Doesn't mean you're not talented. You need support to grow. And you are physically an athlete. When you get to the level of touring, you need physical, work, like, where's my body at? Let's do blood work. Let's see what I need to support this system. What am I doing that's working against me? What vitamins and minerals are not being absorbed? You've got to get a workout that works for the kind of show you do. You need to work out your voice. Warm up, sound check. Warm up before a show, cool down. All of that for touring. You physically warm your voice up for a good 20 to 30 minutes before sound check. Sound check is not your warm up. Sound check is check parts in a song that need to be ironed out. Sound check is do different songs that the sound guy needs to get for the levels of the dynamic of your show. Give them a soft song, give them a big song, get the sound check. And then warm up 20 minutes before, about an hour before your set, just to get your voice aligned, straw work, get everything like physically there and mentally there for your show. Your show is your workout. And then you do a 10 to 15 minute cool down after the show. That's going to make your singing better tomorrow. So coming up as an artist, I started coaching, found out how much I loved it. I started teaching voice teachers. I spent 12 years teaching voice teachers around the world and teaching them the same thing. Who are you as a coach? You don't have to be perfect as a coach. You don't have to know everything as a coach. You need to take the knowledge you have and share it in the way that you uniquely share it. Oh, Miguel, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Miguel's a wonderful vocal coach. I was one of his teachers, and I've known you, gosh, what is it now? 15 years? I think we just had a fun dinner the other night, and what a wonderful, beautiful human being. And that's part of the beauty of music and the music community is really building a family that, gosh, I talked to a manager yesterday saying the Elliot who plays drums with Ingrid Michaelson, I think he said they just did their 18th year of Ingrid's Christmas holiday show in New York. And you're like, and we're talking now, he's managing an artist who's in Compass, Parson, who's on a huge world tour. We're like, this is the music business. I think this is any business, but this is the music business. A small world that gets smaller over time because you stick with it and you're going to circle around people, be kind to people, be good to people, build good relationships, because we are all in this together and we are going to support each other, lift up each other, rise up together. I was on a phone call today with another company that works to support particularly indie artists, and we're talking about doing stuff next year together because we are supporting a similar audience and we keep coming around. And I was like, I'm so glad we met those 2 years back. You and I, neither of us are really a part of that community anymore, but we met and we're in this community and we're building this community with others together. That's the music business. Be good to people, collaborate, show up with what you have to offer. So I stopped pursuing being a full-time music artist somewhere along the line. My last record that I put out a live EP, which I'm very proud of. I love that music. It's beautiful. It's more Americana, which again, I never fully finished the path of who am I as an artist, but I would live more in the Americana pop singer-songwriter world with a lot of soul. And when I write songs, I'm in the pop, contemporary, singer-songwriter, country, Americana, a little bit into the R&B world. Because as a writer, I'm broader, can lean into rock songs, but what I would sing. And my last record that is on a hard drive, unfinished, and maybe one day in a minute when the world says, and I say, hey, we're making more music again, like it's time to put some more music out in the world. I made a record in India that was a combination of Western style with Indian instruments and sounds, and it's really beautiful. I didn't finish it because I stopped pursuing being an artist. I really found, going on tour with an artist and supporting them, being in the audience and being backstage and supporting them. I was like, I love where I'm at. I don't want to be the person on stage. Now and again, yes, I still sing. Yes, I write songs with artists. I vocal produce. But I was like, I don't pursue being the recording artist. So that's a back burner until my life goes there again. It goes, hey, we're doing more of this again. But being the one-on-one coach that I am, like I said, I just absolutely love empowering people. And there's only so many hours in the day. There's only so much that I can do for within that time. And I knew that I wanted to share with more people. So I created my online classes that I just was going through, like all the music seminars I've ever done and workshops around the world. I've coached in Russia. I've coached in New Zealand. I've coached all over Australia. And it was like, well, what do I teach and how can I create it in a system? So I started with Blueprint, and then I created voice maps. And voice maps are all these vocal games that I play with artists, ways to help you get out of your head, ways to help you see habits that you have and change them, ways of making new choices so that all of a sudden you're like, I didn't even know I could do that with my voice. I'm phrasing differently. I'm trying this new thing and I love what I'm doing. So it helps you go beyond the habits. A lot of times artists say, oh, when I'm writing a song, I kind of get stuck and I don't know how to change the way I've been trying to sing it. And these vocal games help you make changes. And they again just help you get out of the idea of this is who I am and how I sing. And instead, oh, this is who I am and I can keep exploring myself. And I love this thing I'm doing now. And I changed this. One artist, for example, they came and showed me a song and it was a terrific song. I was like, the song is really great. But do you know that you always go down at the end of melodies? You fall off at the end of all your melodies. And they're like, I do? And I didn't realize I did that. I was like, yes. And when you do that, number one, you're losing the good melody that you're writing because you're falling off of it every time. And two, you make all your songs sound alike because you fall off. Go check yourself if you do this. It's super common that it's like, well, I want to go to the place I feel I find, like just always falling off. 2 weeks later, they sent me a new song and said, Wendy, I just had the hardest songwriting session I've ever had with myself because I wouldn't let myself do that. And you're right, I do it all the time. And that artist has since sent me 5 songs that I think are their best songs they've ever written. And they simply started with this game of breaking their habit of, I can't do that anymore. So they're making so many different types of choices. And the other types of vocal games and voice maps, for example, I'll give you one of the games in there. All the games help you do what you don't always do. And therefore you can start to make conscious choices and go, ooh, I want to do that here. And then I want to do this here in the song. And then I want to do this. And now you're building arrangements that just grow and grow and grow. Miguel says, almost 20 years. Well, 20 years we've known each other. I'm one of your main influences. And I don't even know how much I am present in your teaching. Oh, and drive you to be curious in life. Oh my God, I'm going to cry. It's okay. It's good to cry. It's lovely. Thank you, Miguel. Literally the meaning of life is to have, for me, is to have a positive impact in the lives of others and to touch people in a way that changes you and helps you grow. And that's the meaning of life to me. So thank you. My life has meaning because I am a coach to you and I have impacted you positively. Thank you. So one of the games in voice maps, I know I jump around a lot. I have no script. This truly is live. And there's like 10 more minutes and I have so much more to tell you. But one of the games in voice maps is called one syllable at a time. And the purpose is to change one syllable in every line. Don't rewrite your song, but mess it up and mess it up enough to find out how else could I sing this song? So this is how you take a cover and make it your own. This is how you take your own song and elevate its arrangement. First line of a song. You make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. Now, an excellent song that needs no changing. It's a phenomenally written song, but I'm going to use that song to still mess it up. And I can just point to every word in the song and each time just change one syllable. So I'll change them one by one. You make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. You make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. I changed the you, which dominoed into changing other things. You make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. I think I just minored that. I just really did something funky because of the make. Next one, you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. You make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. You make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. You make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. Change the I, made me change everything. You make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. You make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. I'll do that again. You make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. Just want to change it out. You make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. Changed heaven. I wouldn't change an of. It's not an important word. But I literally just went through that one line and emphasized the first word, then I emphasized the second, then the third, then the fourth, and it totally changes the song. It's not all great, and doesn't matter. I'm exploring. What I would do is record myself and then see, well, what did I like? I like the out, actually. You make me feel like I've been locked out of I've been locked out of I've been locked out of heaven for too long. I went back to the same two note if I wanted to. So what you do is you change it up, find things you like, keep them, and then build your arrangement. And maybe you have to do that for a live version that's longer. Or maybe you do that for your own original song and you find, ooh, I just developed this melody now into something even greater that I loved than the first time. So Voice Maps is all about that. And you can go on my website to see about Soundchart. I want to tell you a little more just about me, but Voice Maps, Soundchart are all things I've done one-on-one with artists. Blueprint, every artist I work with does it. And now I can share with you the things that I do in a really accessible way because I put them online. The other big thing I found was that two big things that I started because of 34 years of coaching showed me patterns that I saw in artists. One was that artists need support and they're not getting it. Artists feel like they're going through everything alone. I'm watching and I'm helping you all go through everything. You're all going through the same thing, but you're going through alone because you don't know that other people are going through it. So I started the Artist Circle as a support group for creatives, networked as disguised as a networking group. And now everything I do includes this aspect of connection. So for 4 years, every 2 months in LA, New York, and Nashville, I led the Artist Circle as a space for all creatives to come together and have conversations about things that you deal with as a creative. Procrastination, building a team, firing a team, success. How do I deal with the success I'm having? How do I deal with the stresses I'm in? How do I deal with writer's block? And we would have conversations with a 5-time Grammy winner in the room and a 19-year-old writing their first song, and everybody supporting, inspiring, and motivating each other. And those groups brought collaborations among people. Those groups brought support to each other. And I'm still, the Artist Circle is being reinvented a little in a new way, but I've been leading it at NAMM. I'll be doing it at NAMM in January. I just did it for Jump Global. I've done it for NYU. I've done it for Shy at Day. So I do it for companies. And it's all about facilitating a conversation that is genuine, not who's in the room that can help me, but who are you and can we connect as humans? And do you have insights that can support me and my experiences? And I have insights and experiences that can support you. And what I found as well was that most artists have a really challenging time expressing who they are outside of their music through their art, social media, visuals, music videos. Very few, like 3 to 5%, have a real full brand awareness and a vision or are able to communicate the vision. The reason Chappell Roan is incredibly successful is because she is a queer female drag queen. And when she embraced that and everything she does says that and shows you that, we all go, wow. 10 years of experience is why she's walking on the stage at Lollapalooza and slamming and slaying. And when she shows up in a burlesque drag queen persona outfit and does this consistently show after show, we say, wow, and we believe her and it resonates because it's her truth. And then she shows up in a big funky graphic tee with no makeup because we are not divas everywhere. You need stage you, behind the scenes interview you, and casual you, like privacy you. Like you do not show up in a furboa everywhere all the time. There is stage and there is you not on stage. But when you know who you are, that is going to be consistently the same person. And that is why I created Compass. It's, again, I was doing this one-on-one with artists and found I really need a way to help people do this fully from like this idea to that idea to get all the way through all these processes that I have. Voice Maps has a bunch of vocal games. So if you took one lesson with me, we're going to get everything I can give you in that one lesson. But if you take Voice Maps, you're going to get all these games you can play forever. And Compass, I wanted to create a system where, and I tested it for a couple years. I did it as a 6-week program, a 4-week program. It is now a 6-month program with industry mentors. One of the artists just texted me yesterday and said, I did this other program for artist development, which was really, really powerful and helpful, but it didn't have the personal touch that Compass has. It didn't really help me go deep inside myself. And in Compass, I've had chances to really connect one-on-one with mentors. And that's all been what I needed for my career. Yes. So Compass is about helping the artist who is already a working artist, who is either emerging or 5th record in, and saying, okay, I know who I am, but how do I get to the level that's like Chaperone? How do I get to the level that's like so detailed and so clear that I know who I am, my audience knows who I am, everything I share, I'm proud of it. I can't tell you how many times an artist has said, I just shot a music video and I don't want to release it. Sorry, I'm getting a ton of messages. Just check it really quick. Okay, though I can get back to them. They're just buzzing. Okay, so many times, so many. I mean, almost every artist I work with has at some point, and every manager and label has told me the same. The single's going to come out. We don't want that to be the single. The video is going to come out. That's not, we don't like the video. The artwork, no, we want to change it. Why the second guessing? Why the dissatisfaction with the art before it comes out? Because many, many times your vision is not what's being executed. And so being able to help the artist, help you know who you are and be able to say, I am a warrior archetype. I'm an artist archetype. I am the rebel. I am an enchanted child. These are me, by the way, which I'm sure you know. I am the magical enchanted child. I am definitely a crusader, a rebel. I am a warrior. I am an artist. And I am Artemis. And all of these things show up in everything that I do. It shows up in my tattoo. It shows up in my lyrical content. It will show up in the things that I wear. This is just a little bit of armor. This is just a little bit of armor, and not armor to keep out. Just I'm a spiritual warrior. You're going to get that when I talk to you. I certainly hope so, that you are getting soul to soul, and your soul is being elevated, touched, and supported. So Compass is about that. Compass is about helping the artist, helping you be able to express. And that's where I am now. That's where I am now in my career. I started as a performing artist and songwriter. I started teaching when I was 20 years old. I've been a music supervisor. I've written and have a Grammy certificate for a song on Dreams on Fire on Slumdog Millionaire soundtrack. I lived in India making music and writing. I am the voice of on 2 albums of Galinda Pintadinha, which is Brazilian, very, very popular Brazilian children's music. And I recorded 2 albums worth of English versions for that song. I am this music supervisor on the Wonderland soundtrack. I recently have songs in a musical that just premiered in the West End called Little Piece of You. There have been so many twists and turns in my career, and yet I am all the same. I am a songwriter. I'm an artist. I am empowering of other artists. I am a coach. I vocal produce. I vocal produce Ana Torroja. I have vocal produced a number of other artists in the studio and through Zoom or online, I should say, being remote. I do tour support. I prep tour for artists. I love empowering people, and all for the sake of you being your wonderful, weird, authentic self, because that is what makes you special. You being you is what makes you special. Me being me with all my flaws and all my silly insecurities, which, believe me, moving to Paris has brought up a bunch of them. That little part of me that gets afraid is kicked up in high gear, and I'm talking to her. And that's the same person that helps me empower you. This person that has overcome a lot of childhood struggles, that has overcome the insecurities of my own life, or I don't even, overcome might not be the right word even, but this person who's gone through a lot of stuff to be true to myself and love myself. And I'm grateful to say I do. who has created a lot of music in this world and learned from the successes and the failures of it. This person who has said yes to so many things, yes, and has taken adventures and journeys. This is the person that supports you in your adventures and in your endeavors and in your taking risks and in your discoveries and in your curiosities, because you as an artist evolves. And I would love to see that record after record, the new you shows up. The you that listened to Latin music for 2 years and wants to incorporate something. The you that had a heartbreak and wants to tell the truth about that pain. The you that lost a family member and needs to sing about it. The you that wants to take a risk and show a side of you that other people haven't seen. The you that has been bullied and wants to stand up and be true to yourself and say, in spite of that, I need to be the person that I am, and I got to show it. And how can I show it truthfully and gracefully and with love? That's who I am. I'm a really curious person who believes in a utopian world that we're all here to be ourselves. We're all here to be our best. We're all here to give the gifts to the world that we have. That there is something in you that only you can share in the unique way that you share it. And if that's you, like Alex Wong, making an album and pairing it with an entire meal that he has cooked and a cookbook, that's how it's going to go, because only Alex can do that. And someone else who's like, oh, wait a minute, I love food, I can do that too. You're going to do it your way with your food. And if you are a person who has a book in you and it's writing a book to go with your song, and every character of your all these songs you wrote have a chapter or have a character, and that, then we're going to do that. I want to help you build worlds and build a world that you love, that you curate and you create. And it's the world that your fans love because it's the world you've made and that they love to step into. So that's a bit about my story. Taking adventures, saying yes, yes, and say yes and contribute, and supporting you. For the month of December, all my evergreen courses are on sale. Please take advantage of that. On my website and in my IG link tree is the code. Ask me questions, DM me, join me on Fridays live, and tell me topics you'd like me to talk about. I'll definitely be covering voice technique, artist development, this music industry. And if you're interested in vocal classes, yes, I teach one-on-one. So reach out. And if you want to take my online courses, go press a button and take them. And ask me questions, because I love supporting you. And I love what I do in life, and I'm ever so grateful. And if you don't know, for about the last 10 minutes, I've been on the verge of tears, because I am very grateful. I am so very grateful for a 34-year career as a coach. I've been in this industry and performing since I was 8 years old, working since I'm 8. I am so grateful, and I'm not done. I am starting a new adventure in Paris, and Compass has just launched just a year ago, and I have big dreams for Compass to create and build an entire community of artists and industry mentors that collaborate and that become successful and elevate together, that people meet their new team members here, because my utopian heart wants a music industry that is full of amazing people who support each other. And in my little corner of the world, that's what I'm doing, building a community and an industry for artists to thrive and support each other and be around music industry people who are genuine and support you and thrive together. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for being a part of my life and allowing me to be a part of yours. I'll see you in a minute.